Hey, I'm Dave from Scamper, and this is the tutorial for the Coachmen Cross Trail. The Coachmen Cross Trail sits on the Transit chassis. It is a regular unleaded vehicle, not diesel, regular. Very interesting way to get the gasoline in here. This is your gas tank. You have to have the door open though in order to open the gas tank and fill up. When you're renting from us, please remember that whatever the gas is at when you pick it up, bring it back the same. If it's a half tank, bring it back a half tank. If it's full tank, please bring it back full as well. You got a very comfortable cab inside this Ford Transit. As a matter of fact, you do have captain's chairs, which is great for entertaining people behind. You can actually take both seats and turn them all the way around in a 360 fashion. However, they are locked in place when you're driving, which obviously makes sense. You've got full entertainment system here as well with a big screen that is Apple CarPlay, give you your GPS as well as full access to whatever's on your phone. Super convenient and easy to drive with cruise control as well as a 3-camera rear view mirror that shows you everything behind you and on all 4 sides. So that way it makes it easier when driving through traffic. This camper is equipped and needs 30 amp service. It is not an off-grid machine. What does that mean? That means you can't really run a bunch of stuff if you're just out in the middle of the wilderness. It is recommended that you have this vehicle hooked up to 30 amp at every opportunity. And inside the cabin, you will see this yellow bag. In this yellow bag will be the cords and adapters that you need. If you're at a site that only has 20 amp or only has 50 amp, there are some adapters that'll help you get plugged in and get the power you need inside the vehicle. So you'll grab your cords out of here and get ready to plug your vehicle into your campsite and into the van as well. This campsite is equipped with a 50 amp service. So we have our 30 amp cord, and in the bag as well is your adapter for 50 amp. So you want to plug your 30 in just like that, and then your 50 amp in order to get full electrical service into your RV. When you're plugged in at your campsite, it's important to note that there is a blue light on the cord that illuminates that power is actually in the cord. So if you plug it in and you don't see that blue light, there's chances that there isn't power at the actual post. So make sure that's on before you plug it into the vehicle, just like this. Give it a twist and screw that baby on. Inside the RV, you'll have a freshwater hose in this little white bag. That's not a terribly long hose, so you do want to be close to your water source. Now, assuming that your campsite does indeed have water source, we call it a city line. This means pressurized water can be fed straight into the camper. Your intake here is this one. It says right underneath city. So when you're at your campsite, you can plug this straight in there, get your source from the campsite. Now, if by chance you're at a campsite that does not have water, you can pre-fill the camper. Now, it won't have pressurized water unless you use the water pump, and we'll show you that inside. But the water to fill the tank goes in right here, and that is a tank fill. So very specifically, this is if you don't have city access or city water access at your campsite. The final intake is a tank flush. So when you're about to, which we will show you how to empty the tanks, the gray water, the black water, to flush the system, is this third intake right here. So this is kind of your water centralized location and your water hose. One of the great benefits of RV life is you have sewage system that allows you to use a restroom in the thing. Now the challenge with that is you got to keep it clean. These systems are relatively easy to flush, to keep clean. If you have on your campsite sewage right there, it makes it super easy. But even if you don't, to dump this thing before you bring it back, before you travel, before you leave your campsite is relatively easy as well. So we're going to show you that process. And it really all starts with the actual sewage hose, which is stored in this compartment right here, right on the back bumper. There is a little screw here that loosens that up, and you can pull this system out just like this. To utilize this sewage system in the most effective way, you obviously have your sewer hose that needs to be hooked up to the outgoing unit here. And you can see there's a little claw that just goes in, spins, and now you're on nice and tight.
find your receptacle or your proper dump station.
Now again, if you're at your campsite and you have sewer at your campsite, you just dump this in and leave it. But if you're going to dump, you obviously need to be able to make sure that the sewage is open in order for that dump, and we'll show you that process now. Inside the vehicle, there's a control panel that'll let you know when your tanks are getting full and when it's time to dump these tanks, or when you're at a dump station and you have yourself plugged in. The first thing that you'll want to do, as we have two separate areas to open up these tanks, is to open the black water tank, which is in the back here, and it is a black handle. Here on the passenger side of the camper are the other two gray release valves here and then underneath, and both of them need to be open to properly dump the gray water out of this camper. So you open that, and then your gray water tank right here that will help flush the black water tank out. Now make sure that you do close them when you're done so you're not driving down the road with open tanks. After you've dumped your tank, it's time to flush it out. When cleaning out your sewage tank, it's important to know that this separate hose that will be in the RV will be used specifically for the tank flush hookup here. And this will be used to actually flush through that black water tank. So when you're ready to do that, you'll hook this up right into the tank flush. You'll turn on the water and open the black water tank to flush it. You'll notice it flowing through the actual hose. And when you're all done, you shut off your water and you shut off the black water tank, or close the black water tank. Don't utilize the freshwater hose for this process in fear of contamination. So please use the second hose that's available and clearly marked black water. Something to be aware of on this side of the camper is that these units right here get very hot. You have your hot water heater here, as well as the heater exhaust if you're running the heater inside. It says caution, it says hot. Trust me, don't touch it. On the back of the trailer, you have this big barn door here and access to storage and a bed. You can actually utilize the undercarriage for storage, or fold the bed up and give you more room for storage if by chance you want to take some kind of toy with you on your adventure, mountain bikes, kayaks, something like that. Plenty of space in this RV to do just that. There are several things on this side of the vehicle you should be aware of. Number one is you have a spray port. So this would be if you're wanting to spray off before you get inside. There is a spray hose inside with your fresh water access. You just plug this in and crank up the water pump, or if you're at a campsite, you have city water pressure, and you can come out here and spray yourself down, spray the dog down, spray the kids down, spray your wife down, or maybe your husband. Right here, you've got some plugs, so if you're sitting outside, you want to plug in your speaker or lights or anything like that, you can do that here as well. And then over here, this is your propane. Now, when you get the vehicle, it will be filled with propane, but if for some reason it is needing to be filled, you can fill it here. You'll need to go to a proper propane filling station for that. Vehicle will typically come to you with the propane being off to avoid any issue with ongoing propane flow into the vehicle. To make sure the RV has propane inside, you simply follow the directions here of open and close. Open is counterclockwise all the way to the left to get airflow or propane flow into the camper. It is recommended that when you're done using it or hitting the road again, put it in the off position by closing. All right, now that we covered all the features on the outside of this RV, it's time to go inside and show you what else we have to offer. Door handle use is something like this: to close the door, to open the door, and then to disengage the screen so you can keep it open with the fresh air and enjoy the breeze of your beautiful campsite. As soon as you walk into the RV, you'll see your control panel. The most important really is on the bottom. This is your on-off switch. This turns on the battery system into the coach of the vehicle. So as long as that is on, you have power into the back, and as long as that is off, you do not. So currently in the on position, USB plugs and regular 110 plugs here as well. Checking your tanks is very easy. Here on the control panel, you press the button to the corresponding area you're checking. For instance, LPG being your propane, your battery, your freshwater tank, black water tank and your gray water tanks. Hitting this button will illuminate where you're at in regards to full and empty. On the control panel is your buttons for the awning. It's very important to note this when it comes to the awning. We like to say it's a sunshade and not a weather protector. And what we mean by that is typically if it's raining, it could be storming, and these things can act like a sail and they can break, and they are very expensive. This RV does come with a very, very convenient wind set. In the center of this switch, when the awning is out, you have two sensitivity levels, 1 and 2, 2 being the more sensitive. Meaning if you are set up in the wind set 2, if any breeze comes that makes the awning feel like there's danger, it will automatically retract in. Now you have your sensitivity 1, so it's, less sensitive. And then in the center, no sensitivity at all. That means it's really in your control to know if the weather is acting up and this thing needs to come in. But again, very important. Think of it more as a sunshade and less about a weather protector, especially in rain and wind and storms. This RV comes with a conversion in the dinette, as most do. You do have 3 seat belts around this the seating area, and believe it or not, this also turns into what pretty much is a single bed, but we're going to go ahead and show you how to do that. To convert the table into a bed, the first thing you need to do is get the smaller poles. So the poles that go into the table need to be replaced, and those poles are in this drawer right here. And these will replace the longer poles that are holding the table up currently. All right, converting this into the bed, you remove the tabletop like this, your long poles, put them aside somewhere, put in your short poles. You'll want to extend this additional support here, pull it all the way out, then place your tabletop into the support with the flat piece here being against the actual seat. For extra added support, place it into place. And then your extra cushions will be in your closet, and we'll finish making the bed. Your refrigerator is a combination of propane and electric. It'll come to you, or when you pick it up, it will be in the auto mode. And what that means is when you are at a campsite, it will switch all the way over to electric. Now you want to be plugged in order to get full electric power in this vehicle. When it's not plugged to electric, it will do a combination of battery and propane to keep the refrigerator chilled. Very important to plug in and utilize the best source of this refrigerator, and that is through shore power at your campsite. If you find that your refrigerator is too cold or not cold enough, there is a setting bar here with coldest and then just cold. Just a reminder, in order to get full capacity use of this RV, including the microwave and the air conditioner, you do need shore power, as both of those pull and generate quite a bit of electricity. So it is important to be plugged in when using the AC and the microwave. We showed you water earlier in the video and how the water is used in the vehicle. If you are at shore power and you're at a campsite and city water is flowing into your vehicle, super easy because you have pressurized water in your sink and shower and toilet. If you are not and you need to utilize the water and you're not plugged into city water, of course you've got your fresh water tank. You just have to make sure that the water pump is on, and we showed you that at the control panel. Nice bathroom here for you. Not incredibly huge, but it has everything you need. Obviously, you have your commode here. There is a pedal on the bottom that allows you to not only fill it up, but also to flush it down. So that water comes straight through the water pump and the water tank if you're not hooked up to city water. But if you are hooked up to city water, that water will flow in here consistently, and then flushing with the bottom foot pedal. Please beware that nothing goes in this tank other than RV quality toilet paper. It is very easy to stop up a system here. We will provide you with some RV quality toilet paper, and then it is up to you to actually purchase more if needed on your trip. Please make sure, again, it is RV quality toilet paper only. It just makes it easier for it to go through the system. You do have storage here, and then your shower, and again, It's all about the water that's provided. If you have city water, you have access to water within the vehicle, and if you are using water from the water tank, the water pump must be on. Obviously back here you've got your bed, but this camper is equipped with a huge garage door in the back that you could potentially utilize this space for not only storage, but also the movement of toys, mountain bikes, dirt bikes, those types of things. Very simple process of getting this bed out of the way. It's as simple as lifting it up. You have a latch on either side that it'll lock into automatically. You'll hear it click. There's a button here to fold that out of the way so you don't get smacked. You have tie downs on the floor, so if you got anything that you don't want moving around, you can easily tie them down and utilize this space in whatever way you need. And in order to release this bed back up, there'll be a latch on both sides that both need to be disengaged, and you can release the bed back into its original position. You got a very basic thermostat setting here. You've got your on-off switch. That on-off switch, you can actually go through the system as well. So if you need a fan on, you need AC with the snowflake, or you need heat. Now remember that if you do need heat, you have to make sure propane is on. That will automatically feed the system and give you heat within the coach. So very easy up and down on the temperature engagement, and that's it. That's your thermostat. Super easy to use. Well, we hope this was nice and informative for you. Our beautiful Cross Trail, available for rentals here at Scamper RV. If you have any additional questions, you can always reach out to us at 833-SCAMPER. But as far as this one goes, if you're renting it, happy trails.